say it isn't so. I cannot believe what I am reading, that Brie Larson's Captain Marvel has been cut from the Avengers, fired, removed unceremoniously. After a $1 billion box office opener and 2 subsequent disastrous flops adjacently, Marvel has said, no, thank you. We're good on Captain Mary Sue. On top of that, they have also apparently refused to put Black Captain America in the new Avengers movie. No Brie Larson, no Black in America. I'm sorry, Black Iron Man, Riri Williams. Both characters, by the way, exist in Marvel lore. They are real. I'm not saying they're not real. I'm not, right? They exist in Marvel cinematic history. It's just everyone hated those characters. Brie Larson out of Avengers Doomsday, despite massive cast. Also, no Black Iron Man, Black female Iron Man. The popular YouTuber Neurotic tweeted that there is no Brie Larson, Captain Marvel in Avengers Doomsday, adding, also, nope, if Ironheart was in it. He also said, well, Pedro Pascal is in it for sure. I assume Tessa Thompson will be in it, or Secret Wars for sure. Tessa Thompson can't act. Brie Larson, I've become a big fan of Brie Larson. I'm heading up her fan club. Now, I don't think, if I'm Brie Larson, I don't want to do another Avengers movie because everybody hates her in that role. She's clearly moved on to other things. If she did do it, I'm sure it would just be for a paycheck. I don't think Brie Larson ever gave 2 rips about Marvel Comics, just like most of these actors. And she got a ton of flack. She got a ton of hate the first time she got on. Why would she want to sign up for that again? Like, maybe she, alternate theory here, maybe she didn't want anything to do with it. Maybe she's like, you know what? I'm good. I don't want everyone on the internet making fun of me anymore. The Avengers movie, Avengers Doomsday arrives December 18th. Launching the final phase before Avengers Secret Wars, Marvel has officially confirmed 27 cast members, with another 33 rumored to appear. That is 60 cast members, no Brie Larson, including Brie Larson. However, according to Nerdrotic, Captain Marvel will not be part of the film. That's a significant change for the studio that once positioned Larson as the face of its future after Endgame. It's still clear that the direction has shifted. Well, I mean, look, Avengers movies, superhero movies ended for me with Endgame. This is, probably true for a lot of people. Will I watch, will I watch a Spider-Man movie or something like that? Maybe. I mean, it's just, I feel like I've moved on past them. I don't want to say outgrow them because I think it's totally fine to still like those movies. They just don't trip my trigger anymore. Fans have noticed Brie Larson is in fact wearing a new short blonde hairstyle that looks a lot like her Avengers Endgame haircut. The actress showed off the look on social media after shaving her head earlier this year to play for a play, fueling speculation that she could be returning as Captain Marvel. Well, no, her hair's just growing back. She didn't cut it short. It's just growing back. His claim also suggests otherwise, Nerdrotic's claim. If true, it would mean that Larson's Captain Marvel is being sidelined entirely after years of inconsistent appearances across the franchise. Look, nobody can take away the massive money that Captain Marvel made as required viewing for Endgame. Made $1 billion in the box office. Viewers largely didn't care for it, but it made that money. The next movie they put out, The Marvels, lost $200 million, something like that. Why would they want to put Brie Larson in another movie? Now, to be fair, she wouldn't be headlining this, or maybe she said, hey, it's all headline or not, and they're like, we're not going to headline. I suspect it's more that they couldn't come, together on this thing. The failure of Ironheart is part of a larger problem for Marvel's Disney Plus shows, which have seen declining viewership and critical reception as budgets balloon and audience interest fades. Disney has now switched gears entirely and is going with less content on cheaper budgets, as evident with Daredevil Born Again. Brie Larson's last MCU outing, The Marvels, was the worst performing movie in Marvel Studios history. The film just made just $206 million worldwide on a budget of $270 million, far below expectations for a mainline Marvel release. The film also starred Iman Vellani as Muslim Miss Marvel and Teyana Paris as Black superhero with Afro. But despite the crossover, again, you're not crossing over any different fandoms. All the same people like Captain Marvel that like Iman Vellani, that like Muslim superhero, that like Afro superhero. That's not a crossover. A crossover would be like Spider-Man and Wolverine, right? The film, its weak box office and lukewarm reviews likely played a role in Marvel deciding to scale back on characters tied to the movie altogether. And to that picture, Disney recently acknowledged that Marvel and Star Wars have driven away male viewers. Internal reports show the company is now trying to win them back after years of audience decline across those brands. Now, Disney and Marvel are so stupid that they think, well, let's just get rid of the women and men will like our movies more. That's not why people didn't like Brie Larson. People didn't like Captain Marvel because it was a woman, but she was placed at the head of the class and was stronger than every other superhero in the cinematic universe. She was a Mary Sue. She was given her role. She had no origin story, really. She had no, she did kind of in her standalone movie, but she came in the fourth quarter when, they were up 77-0, and they're like, thanks, Captain Marvel. It was just how she was rolled out. I mean, people like Black Widow. Nobody has a problem with Black Widow. And for example, just as one of many strong female character examples, but Disney can only view things through the lens of gender. The mission explains a lot about recent creative shifts and cast changes. Marvel's next wave seems to be aimed at bringing back the core male audience that powered its success through Endgame. Well, I don't know. Again, I don't care. Mark Ruffalo. I don't care about Hulk. I wouldn't see a Hulk solo movie, but he's begging for one. Why? Because the paycheck's bigger. Now, Brie Larson did break her silence on a potential return as Captain Marvel in Avengers Endgame. This was just a day before. This was yesterday. Now, Brie Larson herself has been mostly silent on the issue of whether or not she's in the movie. Now, Nerdrotic doesn't make, huge splashy claims like this if he doesn't have the research. And I'm guessing that he has insider knowledge, and it's not like you're reading this off, we got this covered, or some rumor website. Wouldn't normally cover Cosmic Book News either, for example. But I trust Nerdrotic. Brie Larson herself has been mostly silent. She only spoke on the topic briefly during recently appearing on The View, where she was asked if there was any chance for fans to see her Captain Marvel return in the upcoming film. The actress, likely trained in the ways of dodging questions by Marvel, mostly sized up the issue, not confirming or denying an appearance in Avengers Doomsday. Thank you for asking, and I can't answer. Well, I would think if she's not appearing in it, then why couldn't she say that? If she is appearing in it, that you could make an argument, maybe that's why she couldn't say it. Of course, it's not likely that Marvel will leave behind one of the MCU's most prominent female heroes in Avengers Doomsday, regardless of her box office performance. Brie Larson is all but guaranteed to make her return as Captain Marvel in the upcoming film. Though with how many others haven't confirmed their appearance, it makes sense that she wouldn't either. I don't think that Nerdrotic would make this bold of a claim if he didn't know for a fact. There is no Brie Larson Captain Marvel in Avengers Doomsday. Ironheart, also nope. I mean, this is not a I think, this is a I know, right? Why not though? Is she dead, or they want to forget about her? I don't know. I honestly don't know why you wouldn't have her in it when you have so many in the cast. Is it possible that this is a budget thing where I think what's more likely is that she didn't want it, or her demands to do it because she didn't want to do it were too high. I'd say they want to avoid the embarrassment of having a star who destroys the chance of success with the movie with political comments. Also, the girl boss effect isn't good for box office numbers. I don't know. They have Pedro Pascal, who's very, very political. They have a lot of other people who are political. They made her too strong, so she's no longer invited. That's the problem with Mary Sue's. They're hard to write for. That I would agree with. That I would agree with. That I would agree with. They should bring her in. Use her to bring in Rogue. That would be cool. They overpowered the character whose actor is completely unlikable by fellow cast and audience alike. There were a lot of, theories that the cast and crew did not like Brie Larson. That's certainly possible. But I think, again, the bigger picture here is, where is Brie Larson at in her life? Well, if we look at her, Brie Larson, IMDb, I'd say she's pretty busy with a lot of other projects, that she might be working on, that she might be more interested in, that doesn't bring the amount of ridicule. She was in The Bear, I guess, for one episode. She ran a miniseries called Lessons in Chemistry on Apple TV in 2023. She was in Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. Don't know what that is. I think that's a voice acting gig. And then The Marvels in 2023. She's in Fast X. That also tanked. Maybe it's just that her star is no longer rising. And this, people said that this show that she was in, this Lessons in Chemistry, was pretty good. I don't really have any interest in watching a show about a cooking show, but maybe her star has just fallen and she's no longer worth, the price of admission. She's no longer worth the possible bad press. She's just too toxic. But nonetheless, her being fired or her quitting, probably not a good look for Marvel. I hope you were informed by this video. If you were, please do leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.